Okay, so on Tuesday, April 28th, Starbucks is going to announce their earnings. And Starbucks is one of those companies that's kind of well suited for the situation that we're in that they offer takeout, delivery, and in some cases they work with delivery services so you can get delivery of your coffee or food. And aside from that, they also announced that they opened several hundred stores back up in China where the amount of cases was decreasing. And they brought in Beyond Meat products as well as Oatly oat milk products, which is something we don't even have in the US yet. So we'll have to see what Starbucks says about earnings and what they can tell us about the rest of 2020. Wednesday, the 29th, is a pretty big day for the stock market because we have 5 large companies reporting earnings, and one of them is Facebook, which is at a high during a situation like this. And they also just released a Zoom competitor or even a Skype competitor. It's live messaging for Facebook users. And the thing is, they also have ad rates dropping 15 to 20%. So we'll have to just see how this situation has affected Facebook's ad business. Another company reporting on the 29th is AMD, or Advanced Micro Devices. And Intel reported already and their stock kind of dropped, so it's going to be interesting to see if that's going to affect AMD's stock price, but we'll have to wait and see what they say. Another company that everyone is really waiting for to see their quarterly report is Boeing. Now, Boeing has had some issues. That's probably an understatement. They had the 2 737 MAX incidents, and now with the airline struggling, we're going to see what happens with Boeing's numbers, and we get a preview into the rest of 2020. One of my favorite companies and one of my favorite stocks, Microsoft, is going to be reporting numbers on the 29th as well. And they don't seem to be negatively affected by the lockdown at all. If anything, it looks like they may have benefited from work from home, which totally makes sense. A lot of Fortune 500 companies and companies of every size use Microsoft products. So it's going to be interesting to see what the reports say. And I think it really shows well for management at Microsoft and for all the stakeholders. And last but not least for the 29th is Tesla. I don't hold any Tesla, and I'm not sure if I should, but they're a very interesting company. They're a rocket ship right now. They are currently trading at somewhere north of $700, I believe. And are they worth it? I'm not sure, but they are going to be reporting numbers on the 29th, so we'll see what they have to say. They did just reopen some factory, or they're going to be reopening factories soon. And Elon has said that he expects there to be 1 million robo taxis by 2021. I don't see how that's possible, not only technology-wise, but legally, but we'll have to see what happens. Okay, so you have Thursday, the 30th, and that's also another pretty day for quarterly earnings reports. And the first one up is Twitter. So Twitter has, I would say, probably underperformed most of the time that it's been a publicly traded company, but they, along with Facebook and Snapchat and other companies that depend on advertising, has been struggling a little bit during this time as people are home, but they really can't go out and buy things. So it's going to be interesting to see what Twitter has to say. So Apple is going to be releasing their quarterly report on Thursday as well. And they just recently announced the brand new iPad Pro, the $350 keyboard that goes with that iPad, as well as the iPhone SE. Of course, they have Apple TV, and they just recently announced that they will be making their own chips for their computers and kind of distancing themselves away from Intel. And I think eventually just dropping Intel altogether. But we'll see what the lockdown or how badly it affected them, if at all. I'm pretty sure it did affect them, but we'll get the numbers straight from Apple. So Amazon is reporting on Thursday as well, and it looks like this lockdown positively affected them. So it's going to be interesting to see what they say, like how much revenue they've gained from this whole situation and how they think that it's affected the habits of people. Now, a lot of people are figuring out that they really don't have to go to the store now. I mean, if there were people that were kind of on the fence about shopping online, I think that Amazon really kind of ushered in this new audience that was kind of on the fence, and now they're probably used to ordering from Amazon now. And we'll see what happens for the rest of the year. Okay, so the Golden Arches McDonald's is reporting on Thursday, and kind of like what I said with Starbucks, they are kind of well built for something like this. They have the drive-through, they have takeout, and in many cases they have delivery too. So we'll see. I'm sure they were affected, but we'll see how affected they were once those numbers come out. Not least is pharmaceutical company Gilead, whose remdesivir treatment was apparently showing promise in a Chicago hospital or hospitals, and it sent stocks up the very next day. And then a couple of days later, it got out that a Chinese study showed that the effects weren't what people had expected, and stocks went back down. So Gilead actually focuses on HIV treatment, hepatitis A and B, is B and C? B and C, and influenza. So it's not their primary product, but I think they brought stocks up because it was showing the world basically that there's a positive thing happening, but that didn't happen to be. But the actual numbers or results from the trial, from the actual trials going on, come out in about a week or two. So maybe remdesivir does end up working. We'll have to wait and see. So last but not least, on May 1st, AbbVie is going to be reporting their quarterly earnings, and AbbVie is really going to benefit from the announcement that elective surgeries are going to be allowed in certain areas where the amount of cases is going down or has been lowering. So that's going to be very beneficial to their business, but we'll have to see how badly they were affected by the lockdown and what they believe is their path going forward. All right, guys, so going to be an exciting week of earnings. I'm sure it'll be just as volatile a week as the last several months have been. But until next time, stay safe, keep on investing, and let's talk stocks.